Good morning, Western Washington, and happy Saturday. I'm Matthew Fab with Western Washington Weather, and today we're going to take a look at the weekend storm that is coming in. It has intensified a little bit and will bring a little bit more of an impact to the region, and then we'll also take a look off into the extended forecast where things are looking quite active. So starting here with the satellite imagery, you can see we've got clouds streaming across Western Washington this morning, moving into Eastern Washington as well ahead of that system. It's going to remain cloudy here for the next few days, and these clouds signal that our system is incoming. You can see that there on the radar too. We do have some showers across parts of the coast this morning and some of the Cascades, and it's not making its way that far inland yet. That those will move farther inland as we go into the afternoon, especially by the evening. It'll be raining across all of Western Washington. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Taking a look at the overall pattern, you can see we had this brief ridge across the area yesterday, bringing some a little bit nicer weather on Friday, though we did have some drizzle across parts of the region. Now you see as we go through the day today, we have this system moving closer. It moves through the area on Sunday, continuing to push off to the east as we go into Monday morning. And then we get this brief ridging as we go into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday that'll keep us dry for the most part. And this will be our last calm weather for a little bit, because you see as we get to the end of this forecast, as we go through Wednesday into Thursday, we have a trough setting up offshore, and that one moves north, but then we have a bigger, deeper trough moving toward Western Washington and just setting up off the coast. There's a lot of storms that could come out of this, and they could bring some impact, so we have to be watching this very closely over the next week to 10 days or so here. I'm taking a look at the precipitation forecast. You can see we get some of these showers across Western Washington going into about 2 p.m. By 5 p.m. it spreads into the mountains. By 8 p.m. it's raining across most of the area. That heavier rain spreads across the area by late tonight around 11 p.m. Continues to move south through the region into Sunday morning. And you can see mountain snow mainly relegated to the North Cascades and the North Cascades Highway. They're really being the only highway impacted by snow with this system because it's a little bit warmer. And then you can see as we go through Sunday, we get a little bit of rain shadowing from Seattle up toward Everett and maybe parts of Whidbey Island and stuff like that as well. And we have a lot of post-frontal showers moving through. Slight chance of thunderstorms with those, as always. Maybe a little bit of a Vancouver Island convergence zone happening there across the North Cascades as well. Some of those showers continue into Monday morning, and then we have a little bit of rain on the north coast there on Tuesday. We remain mostly dry across the lowlands on Tuesday. Get our next frontal system here Wednesday evening. You can see that pushing through somewhat quickly. By early Thursday morning, we just have a few showers, and then we start to get some more rain off the coast, and you can see that pressure gradient tightening a little bit as we get some stormier weather coming in by the end of the day Thursday, so stay tuned for more on that. Now taking a look at the NAM model here. This is looking at the simulated radar here, so we go through 8, 9, 10 a.m. You can see some showers across Western Washington. By the time we get to 1 p.m., most areas Seattle north would have rain, and it's starting to spread into the Cascades there by 2, and then you can see that rain continues as we go into the evening, fills in a little bit, gets heavier by the time we get to 6 p.m., and then as we go through the evening hours into the night there, you can see moderate rain at times, maybe some heavy rain for some places, moving south across the area. You see there's the frontal boundary right there as we get to about midnight, moving south as we go into Sunday morning. And then you can see how it transitions into post-frontal showers. We're going to have the winds ramping up around this time as well, bringing showers and windy conditions across Western Washington as we go through Sunday, especially afternoon and evening. And there's a lot of showers showing up here south of Seattle down toward Olympia that could elevate some of the rain totals as well. You can see all these showers moving through the region, and a bit of a convergence zone showing up there around Everett and Arlington there as we go into Sunday night, maybe bringing some snow near Stevens Pass. And then as we go into Monday morning, those showers diminish. They're still around, but they mostly diminish. And then we calm down as we go toward Monday evening. Now taking a look at rain totals, this is the European model. You can see Seattle up toward Whidbey Island getting a bit rain shadowed with this system because of the angle it's coming in at, getting about 0.4 of an inch, maybe up toward a ½ inch of rain. From Everett northward, you can see 1 to 1.5 inches. From Seattle southward there, take a look at that. That's increased a little bit. Seattle southward, like Tacoma, Olympia, down toward Portland, getting about 0.75 of an inch to an inch of rain with this system. And then you can see the coast getting 1 to 2 inches, and the Cascades and Olympics getting 1 to 3 inches, although in the North Cascades this will be snow. All of Eastern Washington gets a little bit of rain with this as well, especially out here towards Spokane and Pullman, which they really needed out there, so that's good to see. A little bit higher resolution here. This is the NAM model. You can see again that rain shadowing from Seattle up toward Everett and Whidbey Island in the northern Olympic Peninsula, getting anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch or so. And you can see Everett northward likely getting a 1/2 inch to 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inches, and then Seattle southward down toward Portland getting a 1/2 inch to an inch of rain there with that increased shower activity south of Seattle. The coast getting 1.5 to 2 inches, and then the Olympics and the Cascades getting potentially up toward 3 to 5 inches of rain in the heaviest areas there. The NAM often does overdo some of the mountain precipitation just a little bit. And then you can see again, eastern Washington gets rain shadowed there by the Cascades a little bit in the southern part of eastern Washington. But then take a look over towards Spokane, you're getting about a 1/2 inch of rain, which is good to see. And then taking a look at snow, you can see it's really relegated to the North Cascades there, about a foot potentially for some of the higher elevations in the North Cascades. Stevens Pass maybe gets a little bit of snow, maybe 2 to 4 inches going through the day Sunday, but other than that, maybe an inch or two at Chinook Pass and White Pass, but not an impactful storm, especially much less snow than we had with the storm last weekend, which was much colder aloft than this storm is. Now taking a look at wind, this is kind of uptrended over the past few runs of the European model here, and it's definitely worth talking about. So first of all, you can see the coast gusting 35 to 45 miles per hour, and then take a look up here toward the northwest interior Admiralty Inlet area. A little bit of a westerly surge there on Sunday down the Strait of Juan de Fuca, impacting Whidbey Island with gusts of 45 to 50 miles per hour, and then you can see the northwest interior gusting 35 to 40 miles per hour. But what I want to point out here is the Seattle metro area. You can see Seattle showing up at 41 miles per hour, 40 in Everett, 39 in Tacoma and Olympia and Shelton. And although this isn't really that high in terms of what we usually get during the winter storm season for wind, the trees have all their leaves on them still. So any gusts near 40 to 45 miles per hour across the lowlands is going to cause some tree branches to fall down and does have a higher risk of power outages than other storms of this strength because all those trees still have their leaves. So definitely watch out for that. Peak winds are going to be Sunday afternoon from like early afternoon toward early evening, and those winds could reach up to 40 miles per hour across parts of western Washington. Some exposed locations in the Puget Sound area may get a little bit stronger than that as well. And then you can see in eastern Washington in the Cascades, the ridge tops likely gust 45 to 55 miles per hour, and then you can see parts of eastern Washington, especially down toward Walla Walla and Pullman, gusting up toward 40 to 45 miles per hour. Now taking a look at this a little bit higher resolution on the NAM model, it does increase the winds in the northwest interior a little bit there. You can see that westerly surge. It shows up toward 50 miles per hour, and it shows Bellingham and Mount Vernon gusting 45 to 50 miles per hour as well, with southeasterly winds ahead of the front. That is possible, but it is a little bit of an outlier right now. So if you are up in those areas, do be prepared for winds gusting 45 to 50 miles per hour, but it's not especially likely with this storm, although the storm's coming up. You guys will definitely be windy. Taking a look at the coast here on the NAM model, it shows 45 to 50 miles per hour as well, strongest on the north coast near La Push there. And then in the lowlands, Everett and Seattle and Tacoma, it shows 35 to 40 miles per hour again. So you can see that is why I'm just a little bit concerned about it, because it's the first decent wind we've had all season, and it's going to take down some tree branches and stuff because all of the trees, or at least most of the trees, still have almost all their leaves. And then again, you can see the Cascade Ridge tops gusting 50 to 55 miles per hour potentially. If you are going to be in the backcountry, this is probably not the weekend to do it. You can see eastern Washington also gusting into the 35 to 45 mile per hour range. Now taking a look at air quality real quick, just wanted to point this out because we've been watching it. You can see we're a little bit stagnant in some areas of western Washington. That should be improving here with this system moving through. It should really improve the whole area, getting all these winds in here to just clean everything out. You can see Wenatchee still dealing with some smoke due to the Labor Mountain fire still smoldering a little bit. Hopefully this weekend will help to calm that down. And you can see some parts of northeast Washington a little bit stagnant as well due to some smoke. But this should really be clearing out as we go through this weekend, so that is good news. Taking a look at high temperatures here, let's refresh this real quick just to get the latest model data here. And there we go. Now we can see today much cooler than yesterday. You can see highs in the upper 40s to mid 50s across western Washington. And then as we go into Sunday, we get a little bit warmer because we do have some sun breaks through some of those showers. And you have highs in the mid to upper 50s. Going into Monday, same thing, mid to upper 50s. Tuesday, that ridge starts to be felt a little bit more. You get highs increasing to the upper 50s to low 60s across western Washington. A few mid 60s sprinkled in there. So Tuesday will be a nice day. Same thing on Wednesday. There are highs in the upper 50s to low 60s, few mid 60s around the South Sound. But then going into Thursday, we start to get some of that troughing starting to move in, and we do drop a little bit down to the mid 50s to low 60s across western Washington. But overall, a warmer week coming up, but a pretty cool weekend. And then, of course, we've been looking at this the last few days. This is the extended forecast on the European model. You can see good agreement for ½ inch to an inch of rain there at SeaTac this weekend. But then take a look as we go into the middle to the end of next week. Big rain potential you're looking at by the end of the month, maybe 4 to 5 inches of rain. And that all starts at the end of next week. And that is really when the weather activity ramps up, including anything from rainstorms, atmospheric rivers, mountain snow, and wind storms is all in the forecast and all possible, including also some high surf on the coast. So all the threats are there. Going into next week, we just have to watch it and kind of refine what's actually going to happen. And then here is the forecast for the Mount Baker ski area. You can see again about a foot of snow up there this weekend, which is good to see. And then as we go into the middle to the end of next week, we start to get a lot more mountain snow starting as well. By the end of October there, you're looking at anywhere from 5 to 7 feet of snow up at Mount Baker. So that is pretty cool to see as well. And then, of course, cool weather coming up. I got some nice merch for that on the Western Washington Weather merch store, including the Western Washington Weather beanie. You can check that out there. Link to the store is in the description, as always. And thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to Western Washington Weather, and be sure to follow me on the Western Washington Weather Facebook group and my Twitter and Blue Sky accounts. Got a lot of updates coming up with all the active weather, including this weekend storm. And we'll do the briefing again tomorrow. So thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you all later.